On December 25th, an aeroplane was sighted off the coast of Barcelona. It was flying empty. Investigation of this case reached into the highest circles, and the scandal was very nearly responsible for the fall of at least one European government. This motion picture is a fictionalized reconstruction of the events leading up to the appearance last Christmas morning of the empty plane.
Here I am, at the end of the road. Naples, France, Spain, Mexico, and now Munich. Sebastianplatz 16. In the attic of this house lives Jacob Zook, a petty racketeer, a jailbird, and the last man alive besides me who knows the whole truth about Gregory Arkadin. My confidential report is complete now. My original fee for this job was $15,000, and it looks like a little bonus will be tossed in. Like a knife in my back. But Zook will get his first unless I can save him. Yeah. And then me, the world's prize sucker. Jacob Zook? Jacob Zook? Jacob Zook? I'm sorry, but you're gonna have to talk to me. We've got to get out of here. Look, if we don't start moving, you're gonna be killed. I mean that, murdered.
I'm a dying man with no money. Somebody wants to kill me? He's wasting his time.
No money, huh? How would you like to earn 500 marks?
Huh? And who are you? Santa Claus?
I'm the one that's gonna keep you from getting murdered. If I can save your life, I can save mine. We've got to stick together.
Who are you?
My name is Van Stratten. The first time I heard the name Arkadin was in Naples. A man, Bracco, told it to my girl, Mily.
Mily? What is people?
Mily was my girlfriend. And Bracco gave us two names and a way of getting rich.
So why should this Bracco do you a favor if he didn't know you before?
I don't know. Maybe he had some kind of sympathy for me. He was dying.
Oh, I'm dying, but I got no sympathy for you whatsoever.
I don't like you either. But I have to save your life. I'll tell you why. It all began one night in the harbor at Naples.
got any trouble?
Go get a doctor, quick.
Too late for the doctor.
But the police.
Tried to keep them away. I don't want to spend my last few minutes with a lot of cops.
I don't blame you.
God, you didn't do it.
Of course not, but we can't let him bleed to death.
No, mademoiselle. It was another who stabbed me. He got away.
Go see what's happening.
I'm Bracco. Never mind the police. I'll get my revenge my own way. Listen.
All right, old man. Take it easy. You'll be all right.
You will be rich. Don't have pity on him, huh? You will see he'll pay you millions. Just do what I say. Say Bracco told you all about him. All about his past.
But who is this man?
The police. They're coming this way.
The police. Don't tell them what I say.
What about us? Guy, will they put me in jail, too?
Shut up.
Now listen. What I give to you is 2 names.
You gotta tell me everything.
This I didn't think I'd give to anyone. It isn't money, but it's worth millions. You are nice to me. It will make you rich.
It's Bracco in the America. What's he doing?
Look, I just happened by. I got a boat here.
Your papers.
I'll go on board and get
We'll come with you.
Come here. Come here. Please, I must pay him back. Remember, it's a secret. Tell him you know his past.
This cigarette
Come with him.
jail for you, senor. Jail.
a real smart cop.
You'll remember the name of the woman.
Okay, so you found his cigarettes. This girl has no connection with my business.
Come on, Bracco. What were you saying? What?
Is he dead?
What do you think? Bracco was whispering something.
Yes, Bracco was talking to you. What
It
was
didn't
it?
make sense. It was just a name. He was dying.
What name was it?
Arkadin. Gregory Arkadin.
Mily wasn't waiting for me at the prison gates, but I traced her down to Juan Lepin. Smart girl. She followed Bracco's hint. Arkadin was in town.
Mily puts on a great show, monsieur.
No, she's not here now. She's off for the party.
Which party?
At the party, naturally. This season, a party means just one thing. Gregory Arkadin.
Who Arkadin really was and where all that dough came from, nobody could tell me. He had a villa near Monte Carlo and a castle in Spain, Rolls-Royce with a special musical horn, one of the biggest yachts in the world, and at least 3 passports. To shake him down, as Bracco had said, wasn't so easy. He was a tough baby to get to, bodyguards and all. But I found he had one weak spot. His daughter, Raina.
Yeah, he's real strict with her. I hear she's not even allowed on the yacht.
Wonder if there's any way I can arrange to meet her.
So that he can introduce you to the girl?
Nah, it's a business matter.
You want to meet his daughter so you can get to talk to him?
Kid, you must be losing your mind.
Or, changing my luck. Quite a looker, this Arkadin. She might be tough, but she could lead me to her father. Then there was that boyfriend, one of those titled English characters called the Marquis or something or other.
The Marquis of Otley. But her father thinks nobody's good enough for her, so...
Is Mr. Arkadin with her?
No, he's giving a big party. Not the kind you'd ask your daughter to. You know what I mean?
Is that the phone switchboard back there?
Yes, sir. Right over there.
Thanks.
Excuse me, darling. I seem to be wanted on the telephone. Awful bore.
Okay.
Well, Miss Arkadin, would you care to dance? We haven't
No,
met.
I'm sorry.
Well, your friend's gonna be some time on a long-distance phone.
How do you know Bob's taking a long-distance
Oh, who
call?
would know better? I put the phone call in myself. You gonna be stuffy about it, or shall we start dancing right now and save some time?
Get operator!
Miss Arkadin, a message from your father. He's waiting for you and asks you please to remember it's quite late.
Yes, but how did he learn that you were here, and so quickly?
He runs the greatest private spy system on Earth.
Yes, I know that, but where are I going to see you next?
I'm leaving for Spain in the morning.
Are you flying?
In Father's plane? No.
Oh, driving yourself?
Getting an early start before dawn.
All right, sir. That sounds perfectly frightful.
There he is, in the car.
Your father?
Better get back inside.
I say, but look here, old
I'd
girl.
rather he didn't see us together.
Oh, all right. Oh, excuse me, old man. So sorry.
Hey, that's quite a coincidence. I mean, you're going to Spain tomorrow. I'm going to myself, you know.
Small world, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hi, Pops. How was your party?
Ah, bonsoir, Jacques. C'est vrai que Monsieur Van Stratten est ici?
Thanks.
Well, what do you know? If it isn't that well-known playboy Guy Van Stratten.
Well, there you
I
are.
heard you out there. What's all this about Spain?
We'll take that up in a minute. What were you doing at that party?
It was on Mr. Arkadin's yacht. Arkadin, do you realize what that means?
So that's good for you. That's what makes it all so crazy. You and me are onto a big thing, and neither one of us has any idea how much dough Bracco's tip-off is worth.
Bracco.
He's dead.
Guy, I have to tell you something.
Yeah, just keep it table. We'll be right in.
But Guy, there was that other name he whispered to me. I mean, besides Arkadin, it was a woman's name.
Oh, why didn't you tell me about
The
it?
police were taking you away, and
Why
I haven't
didn't you
even
write
seen you
to me?
since. What good would it have done you in jail? For 3 months you've been away. Aren't you gonna kiss me, even?
So you've been to Arkadin's party, huh?
Mm-hmm.
How'd you make out?
Oh, there must have been 50 other girls on that boat.
Yeah, I hear he's sailing it back to Spain. Next week, he's giving a big society ball. Why don't you try to get yourself invited?
To a society ball?
On the yacht, stupid.
All right.
Look, darling, get on that cruise to Spain. Use all your charms on him.
Mm-hmm.
See what you can find out. Then throw Bracco's name at him. There's
That's
a woman
the
in
trouble.
there. You forgot it, you mean?
Oh, you see, I couldn't hear very well. And right after that, what's his name, Bracco, died. So I couldn't very well ask him to repeat it. Oh.
Okay. Now, look. You tell Mr. Arkadin you have a friend who was a great pal of Bracco's. Don't use my name.
Oh, Guy. Guy, be careful.
Just tell him if he's interested, a meeting can be arranged.
Look, it's different for me. I'm a girl and he's a man.
There might be an opening in some company he controls. You know, a bright young man who knows things about Mr. Arkadin or pretends to know.
Hello. You really going to Spain? My car broke down. How about a lift?
So that's your technique. It's a long lift, but all right.
Thanks. That's a lucky break for me.
Oh, that? He's one of my father's secretaries. Huh? He has all kinds of secretaries. Some of them double as vice presidents. That one's a masseur. And there's Rico. He's in charge of ladies' telephone numbers. But that's something I'm not supposed to know about, of course.
Well, that's a castle in Spain for sure. Thanks for the lift.
You're spending the night here?
I want to try and talk to the local hotel and to give me a bet.
I'll show you where it is.
It's either that or...
Or what?
Oh, develop a sick headache or a leaky carburetor or something like that, and we'd be forced to spend the night the other side of the border.
Uh-oh. Here comes the ogre.
Ogre?
Ogre's my nickname for Pop.
Oh, your father.
Didn't you ever read any fairy tales?
No, not many.
You know, fee-fi-fo-fum, I smell the blood of an Englishman. Be he alive or be he dead, I'll grind his bones to make my bread.
And that's an ogre, huh? Some kind of a bogeyman.
If you meet my father, you'll see what I mean.
If? You mean when I meet him? That's him up there, huh?
Yes, he flew to Tangiers this morning. Now he's joining me here to get ready for our famous masked ball.
That's not till Sunday night. Good.
What's good about it?
Gives us almost a week.
For what?
Getting better acquainted.
Don't tell me you're staying on.
I'm going to your party.
I don't believe it.
Why not? You know your guest personally?
Of course not.
Well, you know me.
Do I?
Well, maybe not yet, honey, but you're going to. What's so comical?
I like your being tough. It's just too bad you're such a cornball.
I've been looking for you.
So were Father's secretaries.
For who?
And please stop smoking.
On account of all those characters and hoods? I thought the masquerade wasn't until Sunday.
It's a religious procession.
Oh.
They're penitentes.
You what?
If you keep quiet, I'll explain it to you.
Uh-huh.
Look, some of them are barefoot. Others have chains.
Excuse me a minute.
I thought you were looking for me.
I just spotted somebody down in the crowd I ought to say hello to.
Oh, the girl in the sweater who was waving to you.
Millie? As a matter of fact, I think she's down here to get on that cruise your father's giving. She's more a friend of his.
Well, she's his type.
Thanks for dragging yourself away from your new girlfriend. I'd ask
Why don't you go back to the hotel?
I'd ask what she's got for you that I haven't got, except I happen to know the answer. $200 million.
Will you please be quiet?
What gives with those crazy Ku Kluxers?
They're penitentes.
Yeah, no, but what are they dressed up like that for?
They're doing penance. It means they're sorry for their sins.
They must be awful sorry.
Well, did you talk to Arkadin yet?
What do you think I came to Spain for, to see you?
Look, Millie, I've been thinking this thing over. I think maybe we ought to forget it.
Guy!
Coming!
Forget it. You're going after Arkadin's money in your own way through his daughter, aren't you? Well, you better watch your step or I might decide to start talking. I mean it, Guy. And it won't be about Bracco or anything mysterious like that. It'll be all about you.
Are you by any chance trying to threaten me?
I'm just telling you to leave her alone.
Hi, chum. What are you doing here?
Just waiting.
Not right under the castle like this where we can be seen.
Yeah, that castle's kind of hard to get away from.
I know, and the town's swarming with secretaries. I'll phone you as soon as I get away from the ogre.
Look, why don't you take me up there, introduce me to him, and be done with it?
Because we're having fun, and I'd like it to last a few days. Cornball. Look, you win. I knew it.
Well, what do I win?
Biscuit. Come on.
What's all the rush?
There are a couple of secretaries back there.
Checking up on you, huh?
Yes.
Treat you like he was a jealous husband.
If Father had his way, I'd never get married.
Well, you don't have to worry about that, honey.
Oh, what do you mean?
I'll make you a promise. As long as I live, I'll never ask you to marry me.
Gee, thanks. Hey.
One moment, please, sir.
Beg your pardon?
Does the Count de Tarragon know that you're here with his invitation, sir?
Well, don't be dreary, Rudy. Of course he does. Raina's happy to fetch you, old boy.
Oh, thanks.
Now, this way. And put your mask on. That's the form, you know.
Anyway, where's the ogre?
I beg your pardon?
Our host. I would like to see him.
Well, you can't mean that.
Why not?
I've been trying to keep him from seeing me.
What do you mean?
Well, ever since I was caught taking Raina out without official permission, I've been persona non grata.
All right. So it's a masquerade. It isn't Halloween, is it? What's with all these crazy Frankensteins?
Now, look, old boy, you don't understand. All these people are supposed to represent the paintings. Now, some of us have come as the visions and monsters. Goya.
Who?
You know Goya?
Glad to meet you.
No, drink the triple vodka and you pass.
A triple straight vodka?
Sorry, sir, there are no exceptions.
Father likes his guests to be ready for a party before it starts. Savage, of course, but then so's he. Try and make a good impression on him.
I'm sorry.
I see you were talking with our hostess,
Well,
the young Miss Arkadin.
of course I know Raina, Mr.
We won't introduce ourselves. This is a masquerade. You've known her long?
Raina? Oh, we've met a few times.
All sorts of people are always trying to meet her. Her position, that's natural, of course. Fortune hunters, adventurers, you know the type.
Oh, sure.
I thought you would. Come here, to show you something. You might be interested. You know where we are, don't you? Shut the door, please. This is her bedroom.
Oh?
Raina's bedroom, understand?
Well, it's a very beautiful room. This whole place
This is her bed. A pillow. I left this here for her to study. You can look at it if you want to.
Confidential report. Has my name on it.
Oh?
Yeah. Yeah, my name has been Stratten, Mr.
According to that dossier, you were born George Streetheimer.
Streeter. My father's name was Streeter.
Your father's identity does not seem to have been established. Go on, read it. Be sure to leave it for Raina after the party's over.
The party seems to be over already, Mr. Arkadin. Who got this up for you?
Private detectives. It may seem a considerable investment to make for a mere gigolo, a petty adventurer. You see, my daughter is very important to me. There's nothing I would
So I'm a
stop
petty
at.
adventurer, am I? And what about you, Mr. Arkadin? How do you think it would look if someone got up a dossier on you?
What are you two doing in my bedroom?
One moment, Raina. I want to be very sure I understand what your friend here is talking about.
Yeah, it's quite true. I ran cigarettes, even some gold once. But what about you, Mr. Almighty Gregory Arkadin? How about if somebody got up a confidential report on the subject of you, huh? All the dirt, I mean, from Bracco on down.
I'm ashamed of you.
Yeah, it's just about the idea.
I mean, Father. Do you really think this is the way to... Guy, come back.
No, not a speech. Proposing a toast. In Georgian style, Luigi.
How did you recognize me?
I know you. Your glasses are friends. In Georgian toast, a little story always comes first. I had a dream. I found myself in a graveyard where all the tombstones were marked in a curious way. 1822, 1826, 1930, 34, always like that, always a very short time between birth and death. In the graveyard was a very old man. I asked him how it was that he had lived so long when everyone else in his village had died so young. But no, he told me this. Not that we die early, it is just that here on our tombstones we do not count the years of a man's life, but rather the length of time he has kept a friend. Let's drink to friendship.
I don't make a habit of striking women.
Guy!
Don't worry, you're safe. I'm sick of jails and there's a law against murder. What did you say to Arkadin?
I haven't seen him, not here in Spain.
Did you tell him anything about me?
No, why should I?
He's got private detectives on him. You put him onto him, did you?
No, Guy, I swear I had nothing to do with it.
Both of you wanted to break things up between Raina and me. Well, now you succeeded.
Where are you going?
Just leaving, that's all.
Am I going with you?
I want to get as far away from here as possible.
Guy, I never once talked to Arkadin about you. Oh, and another thing, I've remembered that name.
You mean that other name, that woman's name that Bracco told you about?
Am I going with you?
Now, don't get smart.
All right. It was Sophie.
Sophie? Sophie what?
Well, that's just it. I can't remember. It was something Russian. Hello?
Oh, I beg your pardon. I was told I would find Mr. Van Stratten there. Will you put him on, please?
It's that secretary.
Secretary?
Mr. Arkadin's.
Mr. Van Stratten.
Speaking.
Mr. Arkadin is calling you. I'll put you through.
Mr. Van Stratten, I'm prepared to talk business with you. I said I'm prepared to talk business with you. My car is downstairs. I'm waiting.
Oh, Van Stratten. Mr. Arkadin is waiting for you.
Thanks.
Now I'm going to tell you about a scorpion. This scorpion wanted to cross a river. So he asked the frog to carry him. No, said the frog, no, thank you. If I let you on my back, you may sting me, and the sting of a scorpion is death. Now, whereas the scorpion is the logic of that, for scorpions always try to be logical. If I sting you, you will die. I will drown. So the frog was convinced and allowed the scorpion on his back, but just in the middle of the river, he felt a terrible pain and realized that after all, the scorpion had stung him. Logic, cried the dying frog as he started underbearing the scorpion down with him. There is no logic in this. I know, said the scorpion, but I can't help it. It's my character. Let's drink to character.
Excuse me, sir, but Mr. Arkadin would like you to wait for him on the terrace. This way, please.
You called me back here because you wanted to talk business.
Your business, Van Stratten. You told me you knew so much about me, you could fill out a dossier on me.
Well, you know how it is. A fella gets around.
Where? Where did you get, Van Stratten?
Naples. I'm not the only one who knows about Bracco. He's dead, but he told us something about you. Something you'd like kept quiet. He was knifed.
Knifed? Knifed by you?
Do I look like a killer?
No, you're simply a fool. I will not ask you your price because you have nothing to sell. But still, I'll make you an offer. I'm going to give you something to sell, and then I will pay you for it. Come on. You've tried to threaten me with a secret which does not exist. Now I'll make you a present of a real one. The great secret of my life. Come in. My secretary's work here. It can be private. Now tell me, if I really had something to hide, what do you think it would be?
Well,
Take a guess.
well, there is something. There has to be.
Why?
Well, if there isn't... Well, how come you never let yourself be photographed, for instance?
Oh, I've been photographed, but usually I break the photograph. Also, head of the photographer. I'm a strong man, Van Stratten. How old do you think I am?
How would I know?
I don't know either. See, that's my secret. I don't know. You think I'm crazy?
No. I don't think you asked me back here to try to help you guess your age either.
You've heard of a thing in the army called intelligence check?
Some kind of an investigation, isn't it?
I'm interested in some proposed air bases your army is building in Portugal.
And you want the contract. I get it. You're afraid one of those investigation deals could wreck it for you. You want to hire me to help you cover up a few little items.
You are informing me or asking me, Mr. Van Stratten?
Mr. Arkadin, I'm just guessing. But now I'll ask you something. What makes you think you can trust me?
I think you will do what I tell you. You're a fool, but not a silly fool. And I am not ungenerous.
Not ungenerous? That means you...
$10,000. Tax-free, of course. You can have it in gold in Liechtenstein.
Make it 20,000.
You're a poor businessman, Van Stratten. You're bargaining before you know what's for sale.
What I don't know, I can find out. Make it 50.
I am hiring your specialized knowledge, your ability to move about in the underworld.
Underworld?
I want you to make an investigation and prepare me a report.
Report? A report on what?
Gregory Arkadin. All about Gregory Arkadin. I'm serious. It's me I want you to investigate.
What is it you're so afraid they're going to find out?
Van Stratten, on my mother's grave, I swear to you, I wish I knew.
And you figure that if I can't smoke it out, the army boys won't be able to either, huh?
I'm going to tell you a story, a poetic little story. It's winter of 27. One night, one snowy night, I found myself a young man in Zurich. I had nothing. Only the one suit I was wearing and a wallet in which there were 200,000 Swiss francs. With that money, my fortune was built. You see, I promised you this was poetic.
Well?
Well, what?
Who was she?
She, who was she, isn't the question at all. The question is, who was I?
Okay, Mr. Arkadin, I'll buy it. Who were you?
That's just it. What happened before the winter of 27? Where did I come from in my one suit? That is my real secret. And you are the first man I ever told it to. I do not know who I am.
Amnesia. But if it's as bad as you claim...
What do you mean as I claim?
You don't have any memory of what happened to you before 27, right? So what makes you so sure your name is Arkadin? Huh? Well, maybe it's Arkadin or Arkadini or Archipopoulos or Smith.
Don't be a fool. I know my own name.
Who says so?
I say so.
Yeah, well, who are you? You just told me you don't know.
I'm paying you to find out.
So why does Arkadin stick in your mind? Maybe it's the name of a cough medicine. Maybe it's somebody you knocked off at 200,000 Swiss francs.
You think that's how I got the money?
Well, maybe you stole it. How do we know?
Guy in there.
Mr. Van Stratten is gone. He has left the country, Raina.
If you've paid him off, I'll never forgive you, Father. Never.
You know, at first I thought it was something else. I rather thought you were blackmailing me. Here's the character.
Okay, only I need dough for expenses. My travels took me from Helsinki to Tunis, Brussels, Amsterdam, Geneva, Zurich, Trieste, Marseille, Copenhagen. I talked to every crook who'd been around in 1927. And a whole lot of other characters, too. I claimed I was a newspaper man. And that got me at last to Sir Joseph, a retired intelligence chief who gave me my first lead.
Sir Joseph is not well enough to give interviews, but out of respect for Time magazine, that is your magazine, isn't it? Sir Joseph has consented to make the following statement with the understanding that it is not to be quoted.
Gregory Arkadin is one of the shrewdest of all adventurers in high finance, and certainly the most unscrupulous. During the last war, I had occasion to make inquiries into his past. In another epoch, such a man might have sacked Rome or been hanged as a pirate. Today, we must accept him for what he is, a phenomenon of an age of dissolution and crisis. As to his former activities, they took place in Warsaw, Poland. Perhaps Fleet Professor Rudzinski, knowing Copenhagen, could tell you a little more about that, if he'll talk.
come to me. I am a legitimate entertainer now. Please, watch your smoking. I am only interested in my fleas.
That's all?
And now we are rehearsing. Besides, I have to get ready for a show in a few minutes, so I cannot give you much time. Oh, please, please, please. The fleas don't like it. Who likes it?
Will you at least try guessing?
Have you ever seen a football game? Alley hoops. Between alley hoops. Alley hoops. Educated fleas. Now here's the kickoff. Alley hoops. Now, alley hoops. Alley hoops. Now here is August. He's the goalkeeper. Pick it up, August. Put it in the right position, August. That's right. Alley, August. Alley, August. Poop.
Why would a man want to escape from Poland?
In the past few years, my country has offered its people a wide variety of incentives for moving elsewhere.
Oh, wait a minute, Professor. In your day, you were one of the best con men in Europe.
Please, not so loud.
I don't see any reason why I should lower my voice if you're not going to offer me a cooperation.
Feeding time.
Come on, Professor, think back. A police case in Warsaw involving a woman called Sophie.
Couldn't you find another Pole? There's Thaddeus, that contraband fellow.
Yeah, in Tangier.
Why not try him?
Nah, he's too young.
There's nothing a type like that doesn't know about crooks. Crooks. He has them jumping around for him like my fleas. Only the fleas are smarter.
I got a friend doing Tangiers this week. She'll see Thaddeus. Oh, come on, Professor. What about Sophie?
Sophie? No. A type like that, if she's alive, she's legitimate by now.
Well, what makes you think she'd go straight?
Simple. She was intelligent. Did you ever stop to think why cops are always famous for being dumb? Simple. Because they don't have to be anything else. Crooks aren't the worst people. They're just the stupidest. The fleas of the world.
And murder?
My friend, after 20,000 years, murder is still a business that's mainly in the hands of the amateurs.
Mily on the cruise with Arkadin stopped off in Tangiers to see Thaddeus.
I'm a friend of Guy's. We used to see you every time we came to Tangier.
Be more consignment, Smuggler.
You must remember me.
I never remember pretty women. It's so expensive.
But no Japanese cameras.
I can't help you. Van Stratten, has he got a new boat?
This is not about business, Mr. Thaddeus. We just want you to do us a favor.
I never do favors.
We only want a little information about Poland.
I never give in. Poland.
This won't cost you anything.
Do you know of a fence in Amsterdam called Burgomil Trebich? Trebich?
We're not going to Amsterdam.
You and Van Stratten?
No, I'm not with him anymore. I'm on a sort of a cruise.
Enjoy yourself.
Trebich. I'll remember the name. Thanks, Thaddeus.
Thanks for nothing.
Here.
Here we have a telescope. 110 gulden, my dear. Well, you can always fix it with a weeny bit of tape.
Why not try to stick to the subject? You were going to tell me about a woman called Sophie, remember?
Sophie, I'd sweet. She was quite a girl. Not that I remember her personally, only by reputation. And with the telescope comes a laser case.
What happened to her? Where is she?
Where is anybody?
Well, you know she's still alive.
Well, if you don't want the case, I can sell you the telescope without it. But then, of course, the price would be weeny bit steeper.
You haven't answered my question.
You haven't bought my telescope.
Yeah, but I will. I will, Mr. Trubich. I'm going to buy it. Now, what were you going to tell me?
Those girls. Those girls was a ruin of Sophie.
Girls?
Ah, Hildegard was most to down.
What girls, Mr. Trubich?
Imagine, my dear, they were hired by the police to pose as members of Sophie's dancing academy. Huh?
What dancing academy?
Well, perhaps you'd be interested in a lovely aquarium for your tropical fish.
No, thanks. Look, I already got a telescope.
You haven't paid for it, have you? Still, we can always discuss price, can't we, my dear?
Now, look, about this dancing academy, I'm buying information. Buying means that I'm prepared to pay.
I make it a principle never to give information, even about people who are dead. I mustn't get a reputation for being indiscreet now, must I? Especially in my profession. No, what you are buying is a telescope.
Oh, fine. Looks as if I'm also buying an aquarium, but if Sophie's dead, I can't see what difference it
Dead? Who said she's dead?
Well, nobody says she's alive.
I seem to remember she got away from the police when they broke up the gang.
The gang? Well, come on, Mr. Trubich. What did the gang do? White slavery?
Warsaw was the center of that, my dear, before the last war. Oh, my poor baby, you don't know a thing. Why, half the flesh that was run into South America from Central and Eastern Europe came right through Warsaw. Wait, I've got something for you.
No, I don't want to buy anything else.
You'll buy this one. It's an idea. Well, those young girls.
What girls?
The girls I spoke of that acted as special police agents. Well, it just happened, my dear, that one of them turned up here during the war, during the occupation.
Well, what's her name? Oh, come on, Mr. Trubich. I'm paying you for this.
And she was quite a heroine of the resistance movement, connected, one imagines, with the British. I spent the night here in my little shop in 42. We got to talking about Warsaw. You know what we Poles are. Well, the Baroness could tell you all about Sophie.
Oh, fine, Mr. Trubich. Where is this Baroness?
The Baroness Nagel.
Well, okay, but where does she live?
And here is the telescope. You see, I believe in giving value.
Value? This thing doesn't even have a lens.
Well, what can you expect for 200 guilder?
200?
You can always find the lens. Ah, Gusti. Yanni, Mittagessen. If you can pay me in dollars, I can offer you a very good rate. Oh, guilder. Of course, there will be the usual charge for breakages.
Breakages?
Oh, my beaded curtain I can perhaps restring, and I may be able to mend up my alligator, but you've absolutely ruined the pretty aquarium, my dear. Well, you remember the name, Nagel, huh? N-A-G-E-L. Nagel.
Nagel. Is that all I'm getting?
The Baroness Nagel, huh? B-A-R...
I can spell Baroness. Now, you just tell me where I can find it.
My dear, I swear to you on my heart, I haven't the remotest idea where the Baroness is. Or what happened to her.
I'd lost touch with Mily after Tangiers. She was going on with Arkadin on his yacht with a few other good-looking dames. Maybe Mily was becoming independent and going after his money in her own way.
What are you doing in my cabin?
Would you prefer to come to mine?
Don't be funny.
You said you wanted to be alone with me. Has that slipped your mind?
Oh, yes. The message.
You better have a little more champagne.
It's not me that wants to talk to you. It's a friend of mine.
Guy Van Stratten.
You know everything, don't you?
Only what I need to know.
Rocco, for instance?
Not my business.
Oh, sure. Guy told me. Money changing, munitions. Some of the guns he sent to the Reds in China didn't even shoot.
Is Van Stratten a communist?
Are you kidding?
Then what's he complaining about?
Nobody's complaining. He's just doing that crazy job you gave him. Hey, you didn't answer my question about Brocco.
Brocco, Van Stratten mentioned that name. When did you talk to him last?
Brocco was killed and murdered on the dock in Naples, Italy.
No, I mean, when did you talk to Van Stratten?
Seems you were pretty chummy with some Nazi collaborators in Vichy.
Have some champagne.
They trusted you with all their money, those Nazis, to invest in South America for after the war. They didn't even ask for a receipt.
I've heard that
Now
story
their
before.
families can't even prove the money's theirs. And then there's Mussolini. All those roads you built for the fascists in Ethiopia. Bad water, not enough food. Guy says more than 100 of the men died. You know, you're kind of cute in a weird sort of a way. After a person gets over being scared of you. Why'd you grow that awful beard?
To scare people with.
When'd you grow it? 1927?
You know something about that year Van Stratten's discovered something?
We know where you came from.
That's more than I do.
Warsaw.
Huh? What's that?
Warsaw is a city in Poland. Shut up.
I was aware of
You
that.
see, Guy went to see your tailor in Zurich.
My what?
The tailor who made your first suit of clothes when you came there.
He's dead.
You probably never even noticed the cutter, but he remembers you and the label in the coat you were wearing when you first came in the shop.
Label?
The tailor's label. Your suit was made in Warsaw, so that's where you came from.
Guy couldn't get into Poland now. He'd never get a visa.
Awful lot of Poles left home these last few years.
Refugees. They went everywhere, all over the place.
That's what Guy's gonna do. Look up an awful lot of Poles.
But where?
Just wherever you say, Mr. Arkadin. Everywhere. All over the place.
Я не знаю, что. Барона Нажель очень давно не видел.
Nou is een hele tijd geleden dat ik iets heb horen vertellen over de baronesse van Nagel.
Nagel, the Baroness Nagel. Oh, she wouldn't have gone back to Poland. Not the way things are now. Try London.
Nagel? Yes, she was decorated by our people and the French. Wonderful girl.
Nagel, I think she's working in Paris.
She's at one of the big dress houses. Dior, I think. She's a vendeuse.
A what?
A saleswoman.
Good. I got something I want to buy.
Well, she lives here. Of course, I remember you. You are the gentleman who was here the other day. Well, I'm sorry, monsieur, but the Baroness won't be until late tonight. She has a dinner appointment. Oh, thank you, monsieur. I think it might be with that gentleman you brought the beautiful flowers just the day after you were here. He was a big, tall man. With a beard. Yes, with a beard.
Somebody.
Criminal underworld in Warsaw? It's true that for a year or so, I did see a little something of that sort of thing. It wasn't as amusing as you might think.
Criminals aren't ever very amusing.
It's because they're failures. Those who make real money aren't counted as criminals. This is a class distinction, not an ethical problem.
Here's to crime.
I suppose you want me to tell you about Sophie.
Sophie?
She was in those years the most important criminal in Poland. However, we did manage to put her out of business.
Oui.
There were several of us, young girls. And I won't pretend to you that we were not rather thrilled at being part of the secret police. Also, in my case, our family needed the money, badly. We were sort of wooden ducks. How do you call it, a decoy?
You mean you were used to collect evidence?
Oh, it was a rather nasty business, really. The gang masqueraded as a dancing school, where the young ladies went to learn the tango. The victims, of course, ended up in South America. I was glad, actually, to be useful in breaking it up.
The leader got away.
Oh, Sophie's been living abroad ever since, in great style.
Sophie, what was her last name again?
She married years ago.
Well, what's her married name?
You are inquisitive. Before telling you that, I ought to ask my employers for permission.
Your employer is Baroness? You're a vendeuse working for a dress shop. That means you sold a dress to her, right?
She's a good customer.
And she's been in your shop more than once?
Every year when she comes to Paris.
Comes from where?
That is something one mustn't tell, I should think.
I thought they were very strict about people with criminal records in Argentina.
Not Argentina, no. Oh. And not Chile either. No. Don't imagine you can trap me so easily.
I'll bet you $200. I can trap you, Baroness.
Let's make it 500.
It's more sporting.
300. That's sporting enough. Here. Write Sophie's married name and address, and then we'll compare notes.
First we'll have some more gypsy music. And you'll buy me another bottle of champagne. Then afterwards, just for the fun of it, you'll show me your money.
As you wish.
No, I really can't. I hate people who sell information. There was somebody else only last week who wanted to know the same thing.
What?
About Sophie. Digging into the past. It's really too disgusting. Here, take it as a gift. After all, what's that woman to me?
You can't object if I settle our wager. There, you see what I've written? I didn't come within a mile of it. It was Van Stratten who approached you.
Yes.
I'm a fool.
Why?
Baroness, a fool is a man who pays twice for the same thing.
Arkadin and the Baroness. Why was Arkadin cutting in on the very job he'd given me? I hope the Baroness hadn't told him where to find Sophie. I had to get to Mexico before him, because now it was a race for Raina. I was hoping for a message from Mily, too. I hadn't heard from her for quite a while.
No, sir, there's no message. But there is someone to see you.
Going to ask me up for a drink?
Come on. Guess we have time for one.
Oh, yes, and there's somebody else waiting for you.
You've been avoiding me. Why? I hope it isn't because of my father.
No, I've been away. Belgrade, Zurich.
Why all this jumping around?
Job.
For my father? Funny, I thought I caught a glimpse of him here in your hotel, but that doesn't make sense, does it?
You don't trust me, do you?
That's really why I haven't wanted to see you.
You mean you need to be trusted? Funny. So does father.
Why funny?
Simply because nobody in their right mind could trust either one of you.
Raina, what are you doing in this man's room?
That's my question, isn't it, Father? Yes, and I think I'd better ask it, too. What are you doing here? You can't have known I was coming. I didn't know it myself.
I have business with Van Stratten.
Business? And you gave me your word.
His word. He gave me his word he wouldn't see you again.
Oh, really? And he swore to me he wouldn't take money from you. How cheap did you come?
Well, Van Stratten.
No, I'm asking the questions now.
$15,000. Well, you wanted the truth, didn't you? You could save us that old-fashioned melodrama about your innocent daughter all alone with a wicked bachelor in his hotel room. I only came back to get my bags and I'm on my way out of the country.
There's a price tag on every man.
Yeah, what's yours, Mr. Arkadin? 200,000 Swiss francs? You know that was the basis of the great Arkadin fortune? Or maybe $15,000 will be the basis of mine.
You imagine I'm going to give you that now?
Man needs money to make money, Mr. Arkadin. I wouldn't dream of asking your daughter to marry me as long as I'm broke.
Marry
that
you?
dough he started with figures to be earned in some dirty way, too. And I'm going to find out how. And when I do, who knows? Maybe I'll wind up in Arkadin myself someday.
You hear, Raina? That's the sort of man you think you're in love with, a blackmailer.
Why can't I be in love with him?
I was hired by your father to do a little checking up for him. Investigations like. Well, it was his idea, not mine.
It doesn't sound much like blackmail to me.
But you aren't in love with him.
It seems that you, Father, made him promise to stay away from me.
I never promised to do that. Now I'm going to see you whenever I can, job or no job.
You're going away again.
It's just a short trip. If I'm lucky, it may even be the last. You're going to Spain, aren't you? I'll see you there on my way back from Mexico.
I wish you would stop having me followed and spied on every minute, Father. Frankly, I'm fed up with living the life of an expensive gypsy.
Raina, there's no need to discuss this with Van Stratten. You know your life can be whatever you want. We only came to Paris because
Because I said I wanted to. And that was because I hoped to see Guy.
See, Mr. Arkadin? I'm afraid things are getting just a little bit out of your control.
The Baroness had given me the name of Sophie's husband, Oscar, a drug addict. He was my next source of information.
Hired me to play my music for a pleasure cruise. Pleasure. I don't know for how long we've been out on this boat, for how many days I've been without your heroin? Ain't that the stuff you use?
Didn't throw it away.
You'll get your junk when you start to talk.
I won't talk. I won't tell you.
Now, we gotta go through all this just once again. You were married to Sophie.
I still am.
And now she's got a new husband, some big shot here in Mexico. You mean she was never divorced, is that it? So it's bigamy. Is it bigamy?
I won't talk.
Okay. Okay, Buster, we'll just keep here till you do.
What is it? You want me to tell you?
I want you to tell me about Sophie's game. All about it, everything that happened.
You could kill me first.
I may have to. Well, I didn't have to kill him. Finally, Oscar spilled everything. He told me that he was Sophie's real husband and that her marriage to a retired Mexican general wasn't legal. He told me all about her and her connection with Arkadin.
Your passport, please. These will be returned at the airport.
Tossing me out of the country, well, you better give me a chance to pack.
There is someone in Mexico City who'd like to see you.
Who's that?
The Senora Jesus Martinez, the wife of General Martinez.
Sophie?
You know the lady?
Well, I don't exactly know her.
Never mind, senor, you will soon.
Sit down, mister. We're putting you on the plane in an hour, but I'd like to hear first what you've got to say for yourself.
Sorry, but I really don't have much anything to say for myself, Madam Ranswich.
Senora Jesus Martinez. This here is my husband. I guess Oscar told you that the general, my husband, isn't he?
Yeah, but don't think I'm trying to embarrass you, Senora
Don't
Martinez.
do anything to me, Mr. Smarty. I'll let you in on a secret. Oscar I was never married to. He's old now, and he's talked himself into it. A man's got to keep a little pride, and he doesn't earn much playing the concertina, poor little fellow, so I allow him to blackmail me. Not much. Just enough to keep up his self-respect. And you?
I'm the one that's got questions to ask.
You're the one that's getting tossed out of the country, Mr. Smarty. People torturing other people, that I don't go for. Poor little Oscar, why do you have to pick on him?
I wish you'd try to understand. I'm involved in a serious investigation.
Investigation? Why not leave in peace the people that's minding their own business and not hurting other people? Me, I'm married. I got a legitimate business. There's nothing against me that is not all done and over with a long time ago. So, what are you after?
I just want to check a few names with you, that's all. The men who worked for you back in Warsaw.
You got all that from Moscow?
Yeah, the Badzi, Jacob Zook, and the fellow with the peg leg. I saw that one fished out of the harbor at Naples.
This is true.
Seems he'd come on a freighter from the Balkans. He jumped ship. For some reason, he knifed a guy called Bracco and then tried to shoot it out with the cops.
If he knifed this,
Bracco.
Why did he then use a gun?
Why? I never thought of that.
So you got the names. What else do you want?
I want you to tell me about Athabadzi.
It's a Van or Basha. I thought...
What about him?
I'd like you to tell me what you thought of him.
I was crazy in love with him, mister. But what's all this to you?
Well, you see, I work for Athabadzi. Of course, he has a different name now.
Sure. Gregory Arkadin.
You knew that?
Years ago. Chato, give me those photograph albums.
And you never said anything? But you must have realized what that information was worth.
Money. Money I don't need. But even if I did, mister, that kind of money I couldn't use. Not that Vasha don't owe me. He does.
200,000 Swiss francs?
It was in gold.
He borrowed this money?
If that's the way he remembers it. Give me the old one. Come here. Oscar.
I guess he must have grown his beard after he left you.
He had a beard when I saw him in Monte Carlo. But I knew him. That was years later. Sitting right next to me, he didn't know me. Why should he? Not that he hadn't changed too, of course. But why the beard, I don't know.
I think maybe it had something to do with his daughter growing up, but I wouldn't know either.
This is even the first time I heard about the child. Who's he married to?
Somebody in Berlin.
Yeah.
She died when Raina was born.
The only time I saw him afterwards was that night in the casino. When he got up from the game and moved over to the roulette. Somebody whispered, "There goes a famous Gregory Arkadin." So that's how I found out what happened to my boyfriend. And the money. I was going to talk to him. "Hello, Vasha," I was going to say. "Where's the money you stole from me? Where's the gold pieces I had stored away in my old pair of drawers, Vasha? Now that you're the great Mr. Arkadin, maybe you could afford to pay me back." But I didn't. There was that old, hot, lonely kind of look in his eyes. I thought of all the fun we had together. Besides, he was winning. I'd been playing his numbers, and I was winning too. A whole lot more than what he took from me all those years ago. Even figuring the interest. So, I thought to myself, here he's gone to so much trouble to be somebody else. Why should I spoil it for him? I had my money's worth 20 years before. You can go now, mister. And when you see your boss, tell him from me he could leave well enough alone.
You mean he doesn't have to worry a bunch?
Why does anybody worry? He's a billionaire with a new name. So Oscar takes dope. Let them both have what they need. It's your deal, darling.
Yeah?
Mr. Arkadin is calling you.
Okay.
How are you coming, Van Stratten?
Couldn't be better, Arkadin. I finally got the goods on you.
What?
The dirt, all of it, from before 27.
Can you prove it?
On the long-distance telephone?
Come and talk to me.
Well,
I want to talk to you now.
you understand. I'm in Mexico.
You didn't know I was on this side of the ocean. It's your first trip to Mexico. It's mine.
Seem to be treating you pretty good, huh?
And this part of the hotel is private. They keep it for me.
I suppose you own a hotel.
Well, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
What did she say?
Chiquita says she wants to go water skiing.
It's an amusing sport. I'd like to try it myself.
Yeah, you look real cute in a pair of water skis.
Oh, you think it'd be funny?
I'll take your picture. You can judge for yourself.
Mr. Arkadin would look exactly like Neptune.
Who?
Neptune. He was the god of the sea.
Yeah? Did you know that?
No.
That's what I thought. Report a couple of mugs.
I'm leaving tonight. Sell our Mexican pesos and buy Chilean. Remember what I said about copper. Oh, and get Chiquita a little present to remember us by.
Check. I found Sophie.
Sophie?
She's married money, but a character known as Oscar's her real husband. He's blackmailing her.
Oh.
I'll put all the details in my report.
Never mind your report.
But I do mind it. I'm going to get paid for it, remember?
Tell me what you know.
In the old days in Warsaw, Sophie had 9 men working for her. 4 are dead. 2 are behind the Iron Curtain, so they can't make you any trouble. Oscar's here.
That leaves somebody in Germany called Jacob Zook. And one other.
And this other man, what's he up to?
He says he wants to go water skiing.
Any proof?
Not till I take your picture. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. Your camera's shut.
Stop trying to be funny.
I think it's funny. You're born near Tiflis. Your real name is Vaso Atapazzi. I think it's funny.
Who says that's my name?
Oscar. So it's Sophie.
Are you trying to tell me in all seriousness that I belong to this gang?
You belong to Sophie.
This man in Germany, can he identify me too?
Zook's in a safe place, Mr. Arkadin. He's in jail.
Speaking of jail, some gentleman waiting to talk to you.
Well, tell him I'm busy.
I think you'd be wiser to see them. They're from the police, and they want to take you to your plane. I want one thing more.
Yeah?
These things you claim to be finding out about me, don't speak of them to my daughter. I have your word on it.
My word? What's that worth to you?
Perhaps a man like you can't realize what it is to have a conscience and no memory at all. You imagine it's pleasant to be ashamed of something you can't even remember.
On my way through to Germany, I stopped off in Spain to see Raina.
I intended to go to Germany too, you know, for Christmas. But of course the ogre wouldn't let me, so I came to Spain to wait for him here.
Your father's going to Germany too? What's checking up on me, huh?
Well, you know, Pops, he can't help it. Counter-espionage, mystery. After all, he's a Russian. It's the breath of life.
Hey, wait a minute. What makes you think he's a Russian?
Well, I'm his daughter.
He doesn't know himself. He really doesn't.
Is that what he told you?
Well, what about the famous amnesia?
Amnesia?
Look, in 1927, your father found himself alone in Zurich with no memory at all. He didn't know who he was, where he came... When I arrived in Munich, I had yet another surprise waiting for me. Polizei.
Yes.
Okay, what do you want?
Wir haben einen Anruf von der italienischen Polizei erhalten, wonach es uns sehr interessieren würde, ob in irgendeinem Zusammenhang steht.
Murder. This happened in Italy, a knifing? Yes. As a matter of fact...
It's very interesting to learn how you that knew.
Knew that?
Well, a man died right in front of me.
Well, the Italian police sent us a photograph of the victim.
Ist doch nicht notwendig, ihm sowas zu erzählen.
So this is an old case. It's already settled. But why don't you just let me go? Mr. Arkadin's giving a party. I gotta get along.
Arkadin?
Gregory Arkadin?
Right.
Ist er doch in der Stadt?
Ja, gibt eine Gesellschaft noch außerdem.
Ja, geht in die ganz falsche Richtung.
Ja. But you're not on your way to his hotel.
Oh, yes, I am. I just changed my mind.
We'll bring the photograph to Mr. Arkadin's apartment.
Entschuldigen Sie vielmals, wir wünschen Ihnen noch einen recht schönen Abend.
Yeah? He says, have a nice time at the party, please.
Christmas, Merry.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Mr. Arkadin.
Tell him. Thanks. Yes, thanks. I know all about it. Are you kidding?
What about the man in jail, the one you came in to see? What's his name?
You know as well as I do. Jacob Zook. He's gone.
Gone? You mean escaped?
No, his time was almost up and he's dying, so they let him out. He lives in a rooming house in Sebastianplatz 16.
He's dying. There's nobody left for me to worry about. Except you, of course.
Well, I'm not the only one. What about Sophie and Oscar? Long-distance operator, please. Long distance? I want to place a call. It's urgent. I'll wait at this number. The call is to Mrs. Sophie Jesus Martinez of Mexico
Entschuldigen
City.
Sie, ein Herr hat mir das soeben für Sie übergeben.
He says a gentleman downstairs asked him to deliver this.
Oh, thank you. Dankeschön. Yes?
You got the photograph?
Oh, you haven't looked at it yet. Please do so, Mr. Van Stratten. As we say, there's reason to believe that you knew the murder victim.
Stratten?
Yes?
How about that call of yours?
What
that
about
call
it?
to me.
What call?
Oh, it appears that Mr. Van Stratten wished to speak personally to a certain Madame Jesus Martini or Martinez.
What are you calling Sophie for?
Just a hunch. Well?
Madame Martinez is not available. She appears to be deceased. Perhaps Mr. Van Stratten would like to speak to her house.
Yes. Yes, I certainly would.
There's no need to call Mexico.
What happened to Sophie? Did she get it like Mily? With a knife? And Oscar? I was wondering if there was any point in trying to call him.
What for?
I don't know. Wish him Merry Christmas.
You'd be wasting your time.
Cops in Naples shot down a guy with a wooden leg. They think he killed Bracco. But I think that this Bracco was knifed by the man he and the peg leg were trying to blackmail.
It's a theory.
Yeah, and I could prove it if the blackmailers weren't dead.
They aren't all dead, Mr. Van Stratten.
And there was Mily. Poor kid. All she did was deliver a message.
Don't try to pretend she wasn't in on it with you.
She didn't even know what the name Sophie or Bracco meant.
What?
Yeah, and Sophie. Sophie knew all about you, who you were. She'd known for years, and she didn't even care. Live and let live. That was Sophie's motto.
Why didn't she tell me about this before?
I didn't know she was in any danger.
That should have been obvious.
Entschuldigen Sie bitte.
Bracco, Mily, Sophie and Oscar. Now there's only Jacob Zook. Just one left.
Sure you aren't losing count? To you, Van Stratten.
Ask me why. Why he's been knocking off everybody that might remember that crummy little secret is. I'd say it was all because of Raina. He's gone right off his rocker at the thought that she might find out about him. Well, you're the next to go. He's saving me for the last one. I've done all the dirty work. The only way I could save myself is by saving you, hiding you. That's why you're so important. You're the last living member of the gang.
Gang, schmang, I belong to lots of gangs.
Yes, I
So once I knew the buzz. So now he's got it on the name. He's rich. So go ahead, get some of the money away from him. But for this, you gotta drive me out in the cold.
He may be here at any minute. I gave him your address.
You mean
That was before I knew he was the
killer, Schmilly. You gotta prove it.
Prove it?
Yeah? A big, important man like this, there's something he shouldn't do. You gotta prove it.
Oscar and Sophie were found dead in a ditch in Mexico City with their throats cut. I just found that out on the long-distance telephone. Go ahead and laugh.
I'm not laughing, I'm coughing.
Well, go ahead and cough. Die if you got your heart set on it. Look, I'm young. I don't want to wind up with a knife in my gut.
Where I'm going, nobody could bother me. I ain't scared, but you are. So better start running.
Running? Where to?
It's a big world, mister.
Not so big when Arkadin's after you. Besides, he owns half of it.
So what do you want with me?
You knew him in Warsaw. You're the last one alive that did. Now, as long as I can keep you alive... He's here. He's coming up. We gotta get out of here and hide.
Hey, mister.
Come on.
Mister, give me my blanket.
You're coming with me. There must be something you want. Something you dreamed of all those years in jail.
But this way, Christmas Eve, how could you go?
Well, what is it?
Where you going?
Out. We gotta get out.
Well, this way ain't out, mister.
Which way?
That way.
Listen, whatever you want, I'm gonna get it for you, Mr. Sue. If I have to commit robbery, arson, or murder, you're going to have it.
At least let me get my pants.
What do you want with your pants?
What I do without them?
Come on!
Ain't you got no sense of decency? Also, it's cold, mister. How catch me a chill?
You're coming into the courtyard now. I've got to hide you.
I just moved in. I don't know. Nobody lives here. Why couldn't you stay up in my
Where do you think he's gonna look? He's gotta find you gone.
What's he gonna think if he catches me out here, dancing around in my underdrawers? Also, the police, mister. I'm on parole, good behavior. For this I can go right smack back into the jail.
Shut up! This door's open.
So it's open. Whose door is it?
What's it matter? Get in.
Psst. Give me my pants.
Get in there and shut up. Get in that bed. You, here's some money. Lock the door.
All I do for
And
help
shut
is
up.
like him, you understand? Hey, mister.
I ain't heard
You know
that
what
piece
the
in
man
14
said?
years.
Get him to bed.
It's something else I ain't heard in 14 years. Too late.
I tell you, I just got here. That's why I haven't seen him. That's the wrong room. I went in there by mistake. Soap lives up in the garret. Should we go see if he's there? There's just a woman in there. She's entertaining.
What do you want? Can't you say I got company? Go away. Go away or I'll call the police.
Coming back to the party.
Party? Oh, yes, your party, Mr. Arkadin, of course. Well, first I think I better go upstairs.
And talk to Jacob Zoop. Go ahead, Van Stratten. Go upstairs and talk to him. Shivering.
It's cold. There is no heat in this building. And the rent they charge you.
How much will it cost to move where it's warm?
I owe 3 weeks.
How much?
150 marks. Or something like that.
Here's 1,000.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
There was nobody at home.
That's right, nobody.
So what's funny? Old age. Old age.
Hey, Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas!
What did you tell him?
Well, we just talked about how cold it is.
You, what did he say to you?
Just now thought of what
We've got to get out of here, quick.
You said I could have anything.
Well, of course we can.
Anything in the
at all,
world, you
anything.
said. Now, for 14 years I've been dreaming of this. Dreaming in jail, that's all you could do.
Well, what is it?
A goose liver.
Did you say a goose liver?
Fresh and hot. With mashed potatoes and apples and onions.
Merry Christmas!
A goose liver on Christmas Eve? And my usual stock? Never. Leave me alone or I quit.
Well,
It's no use, Herr Jones. He had goose liver. That's the thing with 1 day warning.
Thank you very much. I'll think of something. Thank you.
If I don't get that goose liver, I'm going home.
Well, how about a nice big cut of roast beef? Or maybe a hot stuffed turkey?
Goose liver.
But look! Arkadin...
Arkadin Schmadina! Didn't even recognize me.
Are you sure?
Say nothing. Hey.
Hey, come in me! Get back! Will you keep the door locked? We registered in the hotel under false names, but you can't tell. He may have traced us.
I'll give you an hour.
Okay.
If you ain't back by that time,
I'll be back. Fresh and hot.
With mashed potatoes and apples and onions. You're lucky me. Hey, mister! Hey, if you don't unlock the door, I'll yell for help. Help! Help! Help!
Okay, you win. The door's unlocked. But if you don't behave yourself, there'll be no goose liver. You understand?
I'll give you an hour.
Hey, Mac, could you fix me up with a goose liver?
Es tut mir leid. Wir verkaufen keine warmen Speisen. Und übrigens ist heute Weihnachten.
What are you doing now?
Shopping. Just some shopping.
Entschuldigen Sie, mein Herr, Sie können hier nicht parken.
You'd better get in. We're blocking the road. You know me at this restaurant. They'll take care of you.
Well, why don't we go in? Or don't you want to be seen with me?
Quite a number of people have been seen with you. Bracco, for instance. Bracco was with you when he died. Sophie and Oscar were in Mexico. Mily was your girl.
Yeah, but...
You're a dangerous man to be seen with.
Yeah. I guess that's the way you had it planned all along.
I knew what I wanted. That's the difference between us. In this world there are those who give and those who ask, those who do not care to give, those who do not dare to ask. You dared, but you were never quite sure what you were asking for. Now there's nothing more you could hope to beg from me, Van Stratten. Not money. Certainly not my daughter. Not even your life. Give the gentleman his goose liver.
Well, here we are. I finally got it. Wake up, Mr. Zook. Here's what you've been waiting for. Hey, Mr. Zook.
Jawohl, mein Herr.
sanctuary.
What?
Try praying for both of us.
I had to go somewhere. Somebody might have run me down in the street. I can't go back to my hotel room. In case you've forgotten, there's a corpse in there. I haven't. I don't suffer from amnesia.
I pity it is a merciful affliction. It might prove useful in your conversations with the police.
Go to the cops? About you, Raina's father? Do you think I could do that?
I no longer think of you at all.
You don't think of anything else, not anymore. Just me and yourself and Raina. We're all sort of tied up together, the three of us, aren't we?
She's what matters.
What matters to you is what she thinks of you.
Maybe she'd be better off without either one of us.
Don't worry, she's safe with me.
I don't think anyone is ever safe with a blackmailer.
Where will you go now? Where I'll be safe. Safe? I've got a seat in the plane, the last seat.
Where will you fly to?
Spain. You got a castle in Spain, Mr. Arkadin, a regular fortress. That's where I'll be safe with your daughter. To the airport, quick!
Mein Herr, ich habe keinen Befehl von
Arkadin's orders!
Jawohl, mein Herr.
Oslo, Copenhagen und Frankfurt bekannt.
Hello, this is Mr. Gregory Arkadin, secretary here again.
I'm sorry, sir. I told you before, there's nothing. We are completely booked up, sir.
But you'll simply have to hold that flight, I tell you. Mr. Arkadin is racing to the airport now. He's got to be on that plane.
We are completely booked up, sir. This is Christmas.
Listen to me. One of the passengers is a Mr. Guy Van Stratten. You must put that man off the plane. He works for Mr. Arkadin.
Sir, Mr. Van Stratten has a reservation.
Miss, I want to send a telegram, please.
Just a moment, please.
Mr. Arkadin is one of the leading shareholders in your airline.
Sorry, sir, but an airline is a public service.
Bereits große Fünfer, große Dirken, was ist denn das für eine Schweinerei, Camilla? Sauerei, Sauler und verdammter. Hoffentlich wir's was.
Announcing the departure of Flight 16 for Barcelona and Madrid.
Did you get my telegram off to Spain for me?
Mr. Van Straten, will you please step this way? There's a gentleman waiting to see you.
See me, but what about my plane? He's promised to give you only a minute.
There's nothing at this late hour.
I want your seat on that plane.
So you can get to talk to Raina before I do? You hired me to buy me off, didn't you? You even thought you could get me to cover up, but you didn't want her to find out.
I want that seat. What's your price?
Too late. Too many people are dead. Zook's dead in my hotel room. Somebody's going to have to hang for that. I don't want it to be me.
If you do see her first, what makes you think she'll believe you? That she hears my story?
You'll hear my story first, Arkadin.
Too bad, Mr. Arkadin. I wish I could help, but...
I must be on that plane! Listen to me, everybody. I must have a seat on that plane. I will pay anything. I'll give you a check now. I'll pay in dollars, any currency. 50 million marks for a seat on that plane. My name is Gregory Arkadin.
Yeah, and I'm Santa Claus.
I'll pay in dollars, any currency.
Merry Christmas!
Raina Arkadin. She's there somewhere in the airport. She's meeting a man called Van Stratten. He wired her to meet him. I want to speak to her first. She's there, I tell you, in the airport. Bring her to the radio at once.
Raina!
Well, chum, what's
Raina, listen,
Senorita Arkadin,
Yes?
it's your father. Something urgent.
I don't care what that is. I've got to talk to you
Now,
first.
okay.
Senorita, I really
Just
think
a
that
minute.
Is Mr.
Okay,
Arkadin...
okay, what's all the rush with you?
Look, your father's on his way here in a chartered plane. He'll be here any time now.
Exactly.
Now, I know this sounds nutty, but...
Senorita...
Please, will you please excuse us for just a second?
It's all right, oh boy. Mr. Arkadin says that... Oh, sorry.
Both of you. You two. Now, look. I want you to pretend to Oh, I told you something.
If it's so important, why shouldn't you really tell me? Why pretend?
Why? Well, I can't go to the cops. They'll be coming after me.
So that's what you're in such a
Not
flap
just the
about.
cops, your father. If he thinks I've talked to you and know he can't lay a hand on me without proving to you that it's true.
But why use me to trick him?
Because you're all he really cares about. You and what you think of him.
What are you trying to do? Break his heart?
I want to save my life, Raina.
Senorita, I really think you'd better come now.
My daughter! I want to speak to my daughter!
We don't know his exact position. He's alone, flying himself in a chartered plane. He's been on the radio for quite a while now, asking to talk to you. He sounds... Well, you better speak to him yourself.
I want to talk to her. My daughter! I want to speak to my daughter!
Yes, Father.
Have you seen Van Stratten?
Yes, tell him yes. Yes!
Yes! Yes, just now!
Don't let him talk to you! Refuse to listen! I beg you, Raina, wait!
Tell him it's too late! Too late!
It's too late! Father! Why don't you answer?
Is it true? That Arkadin's plane's flying around up there empty?
I saved your precious life for you. I had to kill my father to do it. Is there anything else you want from me?
Want to know the real truth?
He was capable of anything.
Once, a long time ago, he was something less than Mr. Arkadin. That's what he couldn't stand having you know about. That he was once something like me. I might as well have thrown him out with my own hands.
He would have done it to you.
Maybe you ought to go after her.
You sure she wouldn't rather be alone?
No, but I would.
Yes, I suppose so. Of course, it is rather awful, but to tell the truth...
Rather awful?
No, I mean, she loved him well enough, but the way he felt about it, well, it wasn't healthy. So perhaps just as well. She's better off without him.
Yeah? Better off without me, too. Rather awful.
What did you say?
Losing the girl I love, a beautiful girl who loved me, just inherited $100 million. Rather awful. Maybe you ought to find a better word. Go on, beat it, your lordship. I might just forget myself and take a punch right at your nose.
Oh, yes? And you might get punched back, too, you know?
Yeah, I know. That's why I'd rather be alone.
What are you going to do now?
Drive somewhere.
I'll do the driving.
you.